all of these controlled media sources, whether it's Time Magazine or the New York Times or Fox News or CNN or whatever, that stuff's controlled, man.
All at once I felt tremendous weight, as if my chest was going to cave. The tears that fell left a stain, the world we know's enslaved. Now I know it's hard to hear, you better heed the words I say.
Man, it's controlled by the global elite, the same people that control the money. Now, I'm not saying every detail is, but, it seems to be difficult for people to comprehend how a conspiracy on this level can be pulled off. And I just always say, look, think about how compartmentalized the military is. Think about how compartmentalized it is just to work in an office. You do what you're told. You want your job. You don't question your boss. And if the globalists can get, the wrong people in the right positions, the bad people in the right positions, which they have been doing for decades and decades, then, they give the marching orders and the people do it. And a lot of times don't even, again, understand what they're serving. It's the same thing down at the level of a cop, a beat cop on the street. He's not going to know when he's given orders, by the G20 to go out in riot gear. He's not going to understand what that's really about because he himself has no clue about how the financial system really works. Why it's so important to, to use the mediums that we have, you in film, me in music, that these are our powers. This is it's a maybe limited in a big scope, but it's a power that we have to reach people. And if we can get others out there to do the same thing, then we can turn this thing around. And I think we're starting to. We are seeing awakening. My biggest concern is that you have all of these well-meaning people in the Tea Party that have clearly been co-opted by Fox News, neocon establishment. And the people are in various stages of awakening. Some of the people get it completely. They've done the research. They know what's going on. A lot of them just choose to watch, whatever talking head is on and to parrot whatever they say. And that's a dangerous thing, Yeah,
so again, some of the media there is, we would call it sometimes, red meat documentaries or red meat journalism, where it's just like waving red meat under a dog's nose and just getting it angry.
Yes.
And it's, people are really changed from the heart anyway, rather than from the mind. That's why we're, I guess, both going for culture. But I know the Tea Parties are mixed. I see some really genuine people, especially in local groups.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And people, those are the people that would stand right beside us if they understood the complexities of the issues that we're faced with. You meet a Tea Partier and they support the Patriot Act, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Really? You don't understand. But they're learning all the time. I think there's more and more going on. There is an awakening happening that seems to be accelerating. I just think the answers lie certainly at a local level, at a community level, because the federal government's criminal. It's out of control, and I don't think there's any way to stop it. It just has to crash on its own. What we have to do is build strong communities and educate the people that are close to us, talk to our neighbors, and get them to get involved and to stand up and to see how serious. And we know we're never going to get everybody, and we don't need everybody.
Yeah.
We just need a very, very determined minority, even, but people that are tireless and will not stand for this. And I think in some ways that's what the enemy has done. The traitors that have been walking around in our country for all these years, destroying it by design, have done so in such a manner. They're very resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have to be just as resolved to restore the republic and to state liberty. And I think it seems to me that the planned collapse of the United States, now they're going to prop up China, so I did see, I don't know if you saw the Brzezinski going in front of the Council on Foreign Relations and saying that for the first time in human history, the people are politically awake and they're looking at us, so it's got them scared. That also makes them dangerous.
Right.
But people are starting to focus on the puppet masters, not just the puppets anymore. And I think that's where our answers lie.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a huge growth both in terms of the whole Ron Paul movement has been amazing in terms of how many people have turned on to that. And, even since we started this project at the end of 2008, I mean, the Federal Reserve has taken a huge prominence in the public mind that I never would have anticipated. I thought this was going to be an obscure organization we were fighting, and now it's going to be almost hip.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, and so we talk a lot in those worlds, and then, we do a lot in the precious metals world, which has exploded in the last couple of years. And the third area that we focus on is the comics world. And I'm told you're a huge comics fan.
I have quite a big collection. Now, I don't buy as many as I used to. I'm just trying to put my money into more tangible things.
Yeah, I know, really.
But I do still enjoy a good comic book, and there was a time we were talking about doing the Something Wicked story in a comic, and that may still happen, but honestly, after I woke up to what's going on, every priority in my life changed.
Yeah.
And it's just now it's game on, and we're talking serious shit, and I just I want to be around people that understand the gravity of this situation, and so I'm looking at I don't know what state I'm going to end up in. I know that Indiana is probably a lost cause. It's definitely going with the globalist agenda, and so I'm just kind of sitting back and waiting to see what Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, New Hampshire. I want to see what some of these states are doing, what the people, how they rally. Texas. I think there's going to be eventually, as things get worse and worse, they're going to start lashing back, and that's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be with people that understand.
Well, there's big free state projects in New Hampshire and in Wyoming, at least, and I know a bunch of people in Montana too. But it's we're close to New Hampshire, and that's there's a big festival in the summer called Porcupine Festival.
Man, I would be there too. I wanted to go this year because the Judge Napolitano is an amazing guy.
Yeah,
actually. And his crew are awesome people, and they told me about that what's going on there in the festival and stuff. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Europe doing a festival with Iced Earth on that weekend, so I can't make it. But I do want to. Our bass player lives in New Hampshire, and I was thinking this spring of maybe going out and visiting him and trying to stir up some contacts in the libertarian community. But because I just want to be. That's where I want to be, around people that.
Yeah, well, they're under every rock in New Hampshire. It's just kind of everywhere there. So
yeah,
live
cool.
free or die state. So sign the license plate.
Yeah. Well, if they mean it, that's good.
Yeah,
So.
Some of them do.
Yeah, that's what I hear. That's what my bass player says. He says, "Yeah, there's
some of them.
There's some of them there for sure."
But hey, you talked about Zeitgeist or Zeitgeist Addendum as part of what really turned you on and got your awakening going, and obviously I'm really interested in how film and culture change things, and what's different in our approach is we're going narrative. I mean, it's kind of like this big epic concept as opposed to just laying out the facts the way Zeitgeist did. So how do you see that going? How do you see that changing people? Do you think that's a good direction to go, or?
Well, I think this is the direction because we've been softened up as a species by the tube, and basically our society's been entertained to death. So if we can use the entertainment to wake up instead of put to sleep, then that's a good thing. And what I really dig is the amount of independent films that are out there on this subject. I mean, it's like all the time there's stuff coming out, people exposing the system for what it is, and it's awesome. I mean, and that's really we are the warriors in the new revolution, man. Doing this, I mean, we are. What you and I are doing with all these people, Alex Jones with all his killer films that he's done, Aaron Russo, Freedom to Fascism, and the other, just his interviews and his, how he was so outspoken about things. And there's a great group of people out there that are doing whatever they can in their power structure to get people to wake up. And that makes us potentially the generation that will finally see humanity become free. Even if we fail, we're gonna live for something.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean. And it's worth whatever comes in the end, knowing that we stood on the right side. For me, that's the whole thing. Is I understand what's going on, and I'm not I'm not a religious guy. I'd say I'm a spiritual guy, but I'm not, I mean, I know a lot of people get really freaked out about this stuff, and they immediately look to the Bible and all that, and that's fine. I don't have anything against that. That's just not where I'm coming from on it, but I think that we are living in some really historic times, and I do understand the difference between good and evil, and I've made my choice. And I think we have to be patient with those that are just starting to wake up and not, it's got to be about solidarity, man. It's got to be about good people standing together to turn things around, regardless of what country you live in and, what God you worship. None of that shit matters. Are we are we free humanity, or are we slaves? What do you want?
I really appreciate talking with you, Jon, and I think you're just doing all the right things.
You too, Pasha. It's great to talk to you, man. You take care of yourself, man.
All right, thanks a lot.